Hey there, my fellow looters, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Rad's Guide to Project Zomboid, Episode 14, Cleaning Out the Town. Alright, before I start looting, make sure the building is safe. So sandbags and fertilizer, not too interesting. Seeds. So seeds are going to be really helpful to collect. If there was more space on this tracker's pretty full. If there was more space on this tracker, I would include seeds. Seeds, on the other hand, I would not say are like necessary for survival. You can definitely, especially depending on where you live, you might not ever need to collect seeds because if you are like in Louisville, you're just not going to need them. But there's also watering cans here. I'll actually take both. But if you ever intend to farm, yeah, collecting seeds, shovels, trowels. Fertilizer is nice to have as well, but it weighs a lot, so it's pretty low on my loot list due to its weight. Also, the farming magazine is going to be really nice as well, because I don't want to get into the full mechanics of farming until I actually start farming, but plants can become sick. There's 3 different plant illnesses, and 2 of them are curable if you have read that magazine. The 3rd one is incurable, and you just need to cut your losses and dig the crops up before the disease spreads to adjacent plots. Character is getting drowsy, so it might be a good time to finish looting this building and then head back to the survivor house that I have partially secured for my own personal habitation. If we did not want to get water or rainy, a poncho's nice. It will protect you from being wet during rain. It's not bad to have if you're trying to avoid getting sick. Brunla, thank you for the sub. And welcome. It's too bad that that's just like visual only. I would love to be able to pick that up and use it as a rain barrel. Alright, there are absolutely zombies in this building. I am not alone here, so I am drowsy. But I can take vitamins to be able to finish the building. Oh, there's more than one zombie. Possibly 2 or 3, given the amount of hits they had on that door. Oh, 4? 5? Alright, let's leave. Drowsy and encumbered are not a good combination. I can always come back. But what I want to do is I want to unencumber myself, and then hopefully clear my drowsiness with vitamins. Unless I just took my last vitamin. I always have coffee if it's an emergency, but this is not an emergency. This is just me trying to get a little extra loot. The other thing to note is, like, the zombies, because on default settings, they're pretty dumb. When you walk away like I did with them and block line of sight by closing doors and the like, they cease to follow you very quickly. Could I bring my van closer? I could. It would likely attract some unwanted attention, and I'm not too concerned. I'm only drowsy. It's not the worst combat modifier. I'll still be able to fight. As you can see. Is this... Oh, this is a new map. Another one for Louisville. That provides me no additional information. So I'm going to give it back to her. The area that had marked needs sledge is a gun store that is locked, and you need a sledgehammer to get access to it because it's like barred. Sort of like the corner storefront in this rural supply that I was trying to get at. I think that's probably all the zombies that were spilling out. Nope, there's still one left. Two left. I don't like fighting in a doorway like this because you can't really see behind you all that effectively. So it's better to go out in the open like I just did, because it would be very difficult to deal with fighting those 2 or 3 zombies and then have one walk in from the doorway. Because I wouldn't have any advance warning from the one walking in from the doorway, and the likelihood of them, like, grabbing me and it being fatal is very high. So don't leave your back... Don't have bad vision and leave your back exposed. That's a recipe for disaster. Oh, a tent kit, if I needed to have a temporary sleeping spot. It's not a terrible thing to keep in the car, I guess. If there's... because it doesn't weigh too much. And it could be pretty useful. So in this case, this is going to look a little weird, but there's these 2 boxes here I can't get access to because there's a crate in the way. So I'm breaking down that crate so that it can get closer. And it was military camo jackets. I am actually surprised this is rated higher for bite than my leather one. So I'm opening up the protection tab to see if that's actually true. No, it is better for the upper body, but it doesn't cover lower body, so I think it's a net negative. Oh, I'll put it back. Right. I am even more... I don't need to go that way. I'm even more tired than I was before. My tiredness is starting to ramp. So let's finish up this building and go back to somewhere safe to sleep. I could always sleep in here too. There's nothing necessarily special about the survivor house that I had. It just has like a good quality bed, but I could sleep here for a average quality bed in that tent if I wanted. Which is not a terrible idea, so that I don't have to drive and... yeah. So these secure-looking doors are not so secure when you have a hammer. You can just dismantle them. Whereas the protection cages in the storefront can only be breached with a sledgehammer. There's no tool that other than a sledgehammer that will let you go through there. And I don't have a sledgehammer yet, so I need to use a hammer to get in here. And this should be... ooh, oh, hard hat. Nice. So hard hat is 100% bite and scratch protection to the head. That's a very nice find. And then I suspect there's going to be a lot of guns and ammo here. Yeah, yes there is. So this JS2000 is one of the best firearms to level up with. And this one has a choke tube and ammo straps already built into it, which is awesome. There is a concept of weapon modding in this game. I should also add. And at this point, I already have 2 9mm, so I don't really need the guns. I need the ammo. Unless your gun is in really remarkably bad condition, you generally run out of ammo before you break your gun. So that also depends on your maintenance skill, of course. But in my case, my maintenance skill, you know, is going to allow me to use quite a bit. So one thing to check, however, I don't need one of these, is whether or not it contains a magazine. So this 1911 has a magazine in it. Magnums, obviously, it's a revolver. It doesn't have a magazine. Shotguns have a choke tube. They don't have magazines. Because it's entirely possible to like. So this 9mm pistol has a laser. So I'm going to remove the laser off of it so I can install it in one of the 9mm that I currently have already in my trunk, and then I can put it back. If you really are desperate for ammo, you can go through each individual gun and empty out the bullets. So there's like 10 bullets in this gun, but I'm not that desperate for ammo, so I'm not going to be doing that. Oh, here's an M14 rifle. And it's if you do want to use firearms, it's useful to have like at least one firearm for every caliber so that you can fire every type of bullet. That way, once you have a high enough level skill, you can like maximize the amount of bullets you can use. Because if you have, let's say, a whole bunch of 9mm rounds with no 9mm handgun, those 9mm rounds aren't doing you any favors. They're just weighing you down or taking up space. So if I wanted to pop a tent here, at this point, I think I can check off these two as looted. No, I'd rather sleep in a nice bed. Oh, there is 2 zombies between me and the van that I do not want to engage because I am extremely encumbered and very tired. So I'm sneaking past them. My light-footedness leveled up, and I suspect my sneaking should level up pretty soon here too. The sneaking plus encumbrance has made me exerted as well. And their sneaking has leveled up. It's worth noting, the more tired you are, the worse your vision cone behind you is. So like, and also the width of your vision cone in front. So it's very easy to get ambushed when you're exhausted. That's why I stopped, turned around, and looked behind me. Should be everything. And I'm just gonna throw it in reverse and try to not attract any attention as I return to the survivor house, which is this one. Now, just because it was cleared doesn't mean it's always going to be safe. The barricades on the windows means that, like, except for this window here that I broke into, it would not be possible for zombies to get in. But I did leave the window open thinking I wasn't coming back. So I'm just giving a quick sweep. But it looks safe. I think I'm going to go straight to bed because I'm very tired, so I'm probably going to sleep in. Yes, the minimap here can zoom in and out. And then the S symbol shows symbols, marked symbols. So yeah, it's pretty useful. Okay, weight is 78 and holding. I am going to try to get to the hardware store. I figure I did all the manual... Oh, it's foggy. That's not good. I did all the manual labor of, like, driving all the way out here and clearing, I don't know, like half the town. Might as well just keep going. So there's a hardware store, a general store, and a farm store. I probably don't need to go to the farm store, as I just managed to loot everything related to farming a second ago. But the general store and the hardware store would be pretty good too to go to. Especially the hardware store. The general store is mostly like food and clothing. I'm just stopping here because I really don't like building up a giant train of zombies. If I can help it. And for new players, you ought not to do that either. So it takes a lot more time. Taking the fights like that is far safer. So let's go to the hardware store first. We park it here. There is 4 or 5 zombies over here to the right. You can see that my skill with long blunt has been improving. The accuracy, damage, everything's been going up. So what once was like 5 or 6 swings to like kill a zombie or knock them down, I'm doing in like 2 or 3, sometimes 4. But I'm definitely saving myself some time, which is the point. The longer you survive, generally speaking, the better your character gets, unless you just hole up and turtle and don't work on combat or anything else. Alright, so this long building is farm supply. And like I said, I don't really need any more farming stuff. I have oodles of seeds, I have multiple watering cans and spray cans. The spray cans are needed to treat diseased plants, and the watering cans just make watering easier, but you can water plants with like pots and pans if you want. There's nothing inherently special about the watering can. Character is really high level of panic. Probably because there's a lot of zombies within line of sight. So I'm taking beta blockers to counteract that. So that right there, EP Tools, that's the tool store. And that's probably the last important building to hit in this town before driving back home. Oh, that didn't last very long. while I'm out here, I'm going to turn on the emergency channel. I probably just missed the latest broadcast, but I wouldn't mind... Oh no, here we go. Nice. Showers and heavy rain. Okay. Xavier, thank you for the resub. Severe weather warning, thunderstorm imminent in blank days. So there's yet another thunderstorm coming. But the radio cut out. The broadcasts at a different time, like next broadcast, might actually have the ETA. But sometimes there's like static on the line, and it ruins the information, so you just have to listen to it again. But there wasn't anything on the radio about losing power fluctuations or anything like that, so as far as I know, power is secured. This is probably close enough to the hardware store. I'll go the rest of the way on foot. We're at 266 hills and climbing. And Velhar, thank you for the resub too. So there is one zombie behind the van. I'm going to want to kill him too, so he doesn't sneak up behind me. So it goes without saying, if you're after nails and other tools, hardware stores are the absolute best place to check those out. There's not a lot of tools that we still need. So here's the tracker. Tire pump and jack, sledgehammer and axe, and welder mask. Sledgehammer and welder mask is what's most likely going to be in here. The car repair tools, I'm probably going to get them from a garage, not from a place like this. So there's auto repair places or just people's garages or trucks, which would have like a tire pump and jack. So jack is to replace your brakes, suspension, and tires, and the tire pump is to pump up tires, because anytime you put on a new tire on your car, it will be flat, and flat tires don't work. Not really well at all. So the sledgehammer isn't really needed. The base that I chose had wooden floors, meaning that I could secure it without a sledgehammer. But it's certainly a nice tool to have, because it's the only thing that allows you to remodel. So regular tools can break like windows and doors, but things like walls and floors really typically can't, or especially non-wooden ones, can't be broken by anything but sledgehammers. And then, as I mentioned before, there are certain points of interest, like pawn shops and gun stores, which are completely impossible to loot without a sledgehammer, because they have barred windows and doors all around them that can't be destroyed, except for, of course, sledgehammers. So floodlights is an interesting one. You can add a lot of light to your base by using floodlights. I didn't loot it, however, because I don't know how much carry weight I have back in the van, and I don't want to fill up my van with items I don't need. Carpenter books. I only need foraging 4, so I can pass those up. Let's just make sure that this place is truly empty. I don't think there's anything else here. Nah. No one in this room. You could try to burn an entryway, yeah, but you're likely just going to destroy everything that you're looking to loot. So, oh, wood axe. Okay, that checks that off the list. There's a bunch of different types of axes. Wood axe does the most damage, but it swings slower than fire axes, and is more effortful. It's like a heavier swing. Fire axes is probably the best weapon to use if you're trying to kill zombies with an axe. Do we need a lug wrench? So let me mark down axe. But the real advantage of the fire axe is it's very good to cut down trees for planks if you're trying to do a lot of building. Wood axes are ideal for trees, fire axes are ideal for zombies, and hand axes are really useful to just put on your hip as a backup weapon. Another crowbar. And a tire pump. Nice. So there's really not a lot left on our list of things to loot. Just a jack, welder's mask, sledgehammer. Done a pretty good job of finding everything we need. I do have a propane torch, I just don't have the welder's mask. I'll take this anyway, though, because it's full of propane. And that is the full extent of this hardware store. Not bad. We can still go to the general store. There's still, like, daylight left. And the general store is just across the street. It's this building here with the green roof. But I'm first gonna offload everything I just looted. And then the only other, yeah, there's virtually nothing else left worth looting in this town. The rest of it would be like a gas station and like restaurants. Yeah, so the floodlights would have filled the trunk. I would not have had weight for them. So it weighs 15 and I only have 14 available or 13 available. Now I am an axe man, but I don't like the swing speed of the axe. That's another big component of picking a good weapon, is how fast it swings. So certain weapons swing very slow, like pickaxes and sledgehammers. And if you miss, they do a ton of damage if you connect with your target, but if you miss, it can be really fatal because the zombies will close the distance and you're stuck in like a swing and a miss long animation. So you got to be really careful about the slow swing speed weapons for that reason, because they can absolutely get you killed. Car Zone 3, unfortunately, it's the same car zone we already own. So again, the tapes, I own Car Zone 3, just not 1 or 2. That's too bad. A lot more vitamins. That's nice, because I think I did have 1 in my backpack, but I like ate a whole bottle last night. Nope, don't need that map. Bunch of junk food. You know what? Sure. What town is this? This town doesn't really have a name. It's like Dixie, but it's really not really named. It's in the middle of nowhere. I'm not sure how many bowls I have, but I'm pretty sure I have now 4. I'll take the Spiffo toy. I'm gonna take a burrito. I haven't really secured the room, so I shouldn't be looting, but I feel like if there was a zombie here, I could walk away from it before it could be a bother. I suppose it doesn't hurt to... Seeds don't weigh very much, so I haven't been picking them up, but there's almost no reason not to, unless you know that you have an enormous amount of seeds. And the chips are always nice to have, because they're pretty lightweight and they're filling. Vinegar has an interesting use where you can use it for canning. I don't actually think we have a saucepan. I think we only have a cooking pot. And peanut butter is pretty high calorie for weight ratio, where you don't lose your mind when you eat it, like eating lard or something would be. A spare Hawaiian shirt. Nice. And yeah, this building had it pretty much exactly what I thought it would have. A little bit of food, a little bit of clothing, but nothing, none of those like super mission critical items. Although a spare, well, that's a damaged crowbar, but all crowbars are good crowbars. Crowbars have so much HP on them that even a half damaged one is still more HP than almost any other weapon. So hand axe, as I was saying, really good as a waist belt weapon. This is pretty versatile. Let's turn on the lights. Always take coffee. There's a lot of stuff that I'm passing up on, but I just know that the van is just about full, so I'm keeping that in mind. Okay, well, we can skedaddle. I don't mind sprinting over to the van because I know I'm in for a long drive. So any tiredness or that I incur is going to get cleared as I spend a lot of time in the driver's seat. And the trunk's full. One very useful thing to do is to have a spare weapon in your glove box. So if you're out and about and you're like, oh man, I broke my gun, or broke my crowbar, or baseball bat, or whatever it is, having a spare is just a lifesaver. And the heavy vehicles have much bigger glove boxes. They have a 10 encumbrance glove box, whereas the regular cars have a 5. So you can put a lot more in a glove box of one of these heavy-duty vehicles. Well, town, you were pretty good to me. So current priority is drive home. Drive home and stash the loot. So at this point, there are sort of one of two things that I could do. I could either decide to try to grind the experience required for rain barrels and ideally for stairs. Or I could go seeking more VHS tapes to learn carpentry faster. And I think I'm gonna pick the latter, not the former, meaning to go on the hunt for additional VHS tapes. Because skill grinding is, quite frankly, boring and unentertaining. And slaying my way through a town just to get to a blockbuster is far more adrenaline-fueled. At Carpentry 4, which is just no experience at all, I would be able to get Carpentry 4 very easily. I would have access to the smaller styled rain barrels. But it's worth noting the smaller styled rain barrels are fine to build, but I wouldn't be able to plumb them up to a sink I want to use. So I explained this before, but the container that has the water, it has to be a rain barrel. But basically, the rain barrel that has the water has to be one floor above the sink that you want to plumb it to, or shower, or washer, for washer and dryer, whatever uses water. Espresso machine, etc. And I don't have access to the roof of the food mart. There is no staircase that goes up to the roof. So if I want to plumb the kitchenette that's in the food mart, I would need to build stairs to get to the roof. And I need a lot more construction skill, or carpenter skill rather, to build stairs. So if I really wanted to play it safe, I could deconstruct a bunch of furniture around Rosewood to try to grind for the skill. And that takes a lot of time. And I think it's probably a better investment of my time going to a VHS store. And there's sort of 2 VHS stores that I know of that would be decent candidates. And I have to weigh between the 2. I think I know which one I'm going to go to. Are there no ladders in this game? There are not. No. There are rope ladders, I guess. There's like sheet rope, but no ladders. So the only way to get to a floor above that you have access to would be to build stairs. So, lower level rain barrels, I'm not going to say aren't worth it. If you are really struggling to keep yourself hydrated, absolutely build them. Because the cost to build them is only just from some wooden planks and some garbage bags. It's very inexpensive. And in fact, I might want to build a lower level rain barrel anyway, because on the first floor roof of the food mart, I can start a garden. And having rain barrels there right now would help me hydrate. And then once I have rain barrels plumbed to the kitchenette, I can use the rain barrels that I build on the first floor roof for gardening so that I can water plants. So it's entirely reasonable to build rain barrels even if you aren't going to plumb to them, because they can help you stay hydrated if you don't have plumbing, and also water crops. So to place me on the map, if you're wondering where I am, let's get rid of this search here. I also forgot to mark down that I cleared the hardware store, EP Tools, and the general store. So I'll mark that down as well. So currently, I am this little dot here, and I'm about almost 2/3 of the way back to Rosewood. As tempting as it might be to just like floor it, driving at very high speeds in Zomboid is surprisingly dangerous. Well, actually, maybe not surprisingly, but it's dangerous. So I generally don't floor it. I'm feathering the accelerator and staying around second gear or so, because if you have a high-performance sports car, you might be able to hug the road, but I have a lumbering news van. I'm not a high-performance sports car. I'm not like a Porsche, right? So flooring it is not a reasonable thing to do in a vehicle like this. That, and as you might have noticed, most of the turns in this game are like 90-degree turns. They're kind of rounded typically, but like if you're going really fast, it's generally not enough time to stop for turns like that, and you'll slam into things and ouch. Thank you for tuning in to Rad's Guide to Project Zomboid, which originally streamed live on Twitch, April 10th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you on next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow zombie survivors.